Hey everybody, welcome to Ellis Mowers. I appreciate y'all watching the channel as always. We're wrapping up the summer stuff and transitioning into the off season. Had a really good August, and we're now in September, and we'll see if I can get a late season, surge to continue a little bit. If I can get some of my personal stuff ready. I've had a few customer things come in, including this John Deere. Same guy who had the boat, who had the Kimco scooter, picked this up and see if I can get this fixed for him so that he can make his cut of the profit, if you know what I mean. He gets a lot of stuff for cheap or free. I don't try to compete with him. I make my money off of the cut whenever he brings them to me to fix. It's not like I need any more to fix around here. But this is a pre-Gator. I don't think they were calling them Gators at the time. This is an AMT600 John Deere. It's a big 6-wheel Gator type thing. I would think it's from the 80s. I'm not sure how to decipher model years off of these. But it's got the handlebar set up and the the single wheel on the front. So that's definitely 80-esque if we're talking about 3-wheelers and whatnot as well. So we've got, man, this thing's been sitting a little while, and he asked if I could try and get it running. Probably just got carb and fuel line and stuff that I got to take care of. This thing is absolutely massive, though. I mean, it's the size of a smart car, basically. Probably even longer than one, and this is a Gator. So it's probably a bad analogy. While I'm ahead, let's get started. If you have any questions about this video, feel free to reach out to me, Ellis at ellismowers.com, or at ellismowers09 on Instagram and Facebook. Let me give you a walk around of this AMT600 John Deere before we get started on it. So we might have to do quite a few things here. Number one, obviously, is the tires. He tried to put slime in them, but I'm going to recommend that he just gets new tires for this thing, because with how dry rotted that is, the slime helped. I mean, I could dump some trans fluid down there to see if it would hold some air, but you've got issues with that tire. The two back tires do have tubes in them. The two middle ones don't, so they're flat also. And it's just, I get wary about putting tubes in tires that are this dry rotted, because a lot of times I have issues where the dry rot cracks on the inside will actually puncture the tube and cause it to go flat too. So I'll consult with him to see if we're going to put some tires on this, or if we're just going to see if we can save these. I don't know, because it was sitting right here on this one, and you can see the cracks. So that's one of the big things on this. I believe this is a latch for the gate or the bed or whatever, possibly, or it could be a secondary brake. I'm not sure, because what you've got here, it could be reverse and forward for the transmission. Actually, we'll see. I'm not sure, but this has got a handlebar set up, which is kind of interesting. Your throttle is right here, and your brake is right here. The brakes do work on this thing. It's actually got a park brake. This thing is super simple, because you got a park brake and you just release this area, or release this pin right here, and the brake's off. You can roll it around. Obviously I can't roll it. This rolls pretty easily once you pump the tires up. I do need to get it in the garage. I'll show you underneath, because this bed is a 2-person lift. After I get the bed off, which is just 2 bolts in the back here, from what I can tell, your pivot bolts are right there, and then there's one on the other side. They don't look like they're rusted too bad. I think we caught this one just in time, though. I think we're going to be able to get it back going. Should make some decent money off of this too, because bigger items, bigger prices, bigger repair. Well, maybe not bigger repairs. We'll see. Carb setup looks fairly straightforward. We'll see what we end up having to do to it, if we have to replace it with one, or if we are going to see about cleaning it. Oil situation, let's check while we're here. Well, maybe not. We'll check the oil, obviously, and make sure it's good. So let me get some air in some tires and get this thing pushed in. You can see right now, just as a quick little aside here, man, I look like a John Deere repair shop from about 20 years ago. LX277, 178, that 455 diesel, and I believe that's a 188 back there in the back. John Deere Central around here, guys. Let me push this in the garage and we'll get started. So I got the bed off. I'll show you what we got going on here. I put a battery in it. It is a lawn and garden battery, which is kind of nice. Thought I was gonna have to go get a car battery for this. Carb is just sitting right there. Good news is, when I did that, when I put the battery in, I had to drill out because the bolts were a little bit big, but when I put the battery in, it cranked. Fairly strong, so I'm pretty optimistic about it. I'm going to throw some starting fluid in it and see if we can at least get it to hit over and fire for us. And then if we know we have fuel and fire, we'll just keep on cruising on here. Alright, so here we go. You heard it try and hit over there, guys? That's good. I'm not going to burn the battery down. I know it's going to hit off. I just need to check. Obviously, the carb's going to have to come off of this thing, so got to do a little bit of work on it. Might need a fuel pump too. We'll see. And I honestly don't know what the gas situation looks like or smells like. I'm sure it's bad. So. Yeah, I'm not sure. Getting the fuel lines swapped isn't going to be that bad either, so I think we'll be okay. Just for kicks, let me try it one more time because I know that it takes a little bit of cranking to get fuel up. I think we know what we need to know there, guys. It's it will fire. So getting the carb off is going to be fun. Don't know how well I'll be able to show it to you, but it looks like I have a couple of 10 millimeters that need to come off right there. Looks like I've got a throttle cable that's been kind of messed with, but it still works, it appears. Speaking of which, I've got to get that throttle cable off, and then those springs, a linkage, and fuel line, and I think we'll have it off. We'll check and see what we need after that. And when I get to the point of taking it off, I'll let you know, because like I said, access is really tight down there. I don't really have a good way of filming it for you. Well, I got the carb off. Tight access. right there. Took the fuel pump off loose at least. I have to put a fuel pump, and I'm going to do fuel pump, all new fuel lines, and pickup line and stuff like that, because it really needs it just from sitting. But carburetor wise, really good, really good, all things considered. I think we're going to luck out on the carb on this one, because all it is a little bit of dirt or a little bit of rust in the bottom of this bowl. Everything else is free and clear. I just need to get it. I just need to get all of everything back on. Like all the jets and stuff are good. So that's, I mean, it's great. What I'm going to do, just to see if it'll run before I go through the fuel system and see how bad the fuel is on the back side of this this Gator or whatever it is. I'm going to do a gravity feed setup and just throw a fuel line on that and see if the gravity feed will allow it to run, and if it does, then we'll go ahead and continue on with this, getting the fuel tank and stuff right. Seeing how empty that is, I'm wondering if whoever had this ended up storing it dry, and if they did, if I just have to do some fuel lines and such, then we're going to be in really good shape, quite honestly. So we've got the fuel line at the bottom here, which means that we don't have any pickup tubes or anything to worry about, and I don't know if the light can show it to you, but we got the fuel line at the bottom, which means I just need to take it off of that and route it up through here and to the fuel pump. The line that runs from the fuel pump there to the pulse area in the engine for the pulse for the fuel pump, and then just that short run from the fuel pump to the carburetor. So I'm going to finish cleaning this out. Like I said, this is the way that I took it out. I really have not done anything to it except for maybe spray a little bit through the jets just to make sure they're clear, and they are, which is great. I'll put it all back together, set up a gravity feed, and see if it'll run. Let me show you this temporary setup I've got, just at least see if I can get this thing started. I do have a small carb leak at the needle in the seat. This does have an adjustable needle and seat, so that is something that is a possibility. I could just take the bowl off and see if I can get it to where it'll work properly. But I've got it capped off. I know the bowl is full, and I put the needle or air fuel adjustment in there too. So let me see if I can get it at least to start and run here. Doesn't really want to go though. I think I might have flooded it out. So let me work on it a little bit here, try and start it, see if it'll at least kick off for us. Might have flooded it. So let me work on it a little bit here and see if, I don't think there's any safeties or anything involved with it. I just think it's a matter of getting it to go. So let me see. Got a wire on here. She wants to. She That's cool. Very interesting. So that did it. I'm gonna put some pliers on this because I think it was trying to leak out the needle and seat a little bit. It's not that big of a deal since this is a fuel pump setup, but still. I might try and secure this tank a little bit, throw some air in these tires, and I might just try and cruise it around a little bit to see if things will get better. I think the throttle oops. I think the throttle is a little bit touchy, or a little bit on the low side, but it may not be. That may be the way that they kind of want it to be. I'm not sure. I think I am going to pull out this air fuel screw a little bit because I do want to make sure that it starts on its own. Try it one more time here. There we go. That's really good. I mean, you can't ask for better than that right there. That's really good, y'all. I'm really happy with that. I'm gonna get this bed out of the way. I'm gonna secure this tank a little bit, maybe put a little bit more gas in it too, and pump up that excuse me, that front tire. Got a couple other tires here that need to be pumped up. I'm gonna ask him what he thinks he wants me to do with these tires. I don't know, truthfully, if I would be comfortable putting tubes in them just because of how dry rotted they are. These are holding up with tubes in them, but I'm not sure. The middle ones will. I can get some tubes and see what happens. But either way, runs. I mean, just hit it with the key and let it roll. Secure the tank, get the bed out of the way, and see what's going on with the tires. Get them pumped up so that we can test this thing out. Alright, y'all, I got the tank more secure so that it stays off the exhaust and the I guess you could call it a variable drive pulley or whatever. and just a couple zip ties. This is temporary setup. Obviously, we're going to get the main tank going. While we're here, let's check the main tank. I hope it's dry. Please be dry. Ugh. The gas in it doesn't smell bad, but it is not getting pumped up. And so I don't know if he tried to put gas in it to jump it off to start it or what, but he probably did. Because he usually tries to at least do that before it gets started. So, excuse me. So let me crank her up. We're just going to move her back and forth, hopefully. Let's see. All right, here we go. I mean, you can't ask for better than that. Get it to respond a little better. Run a little ridge there. Kind of cool. I'll let y'all see me ride up down the driveway. This thing is not very maneuverable though. Not at all. Very surprised, honestly. Very surprised. I kind of want to take it for a lap around. By the way, the oil is in really good shape. Trying to figure, I think this may be like a release for the dump bed right here. No, it's like a clutch brake. It's like a clutch brake for the transmission. Idiot me thought it was the gear shift, and the gear shift is right there. So let me take, I'm gonna put about maybe a little bit of gas in this thing and see if I can take it for a ride around the block and see if I make it back. If I make it back, I'll let you know. All right, folks, so it's running. This is a couple days later. Did the fuel lines on it. As y'all can see, got that taken care of, and I had to drain the entire tank out on it, as well as I had to fuel lines. This is the original fuel filter, because I tried another fuel filter. I thought it was a fuel filter issue. Instead, it turned out to be, for some reason, it wasn't pumping up fuel through the tank. I don't know why. I got out here this morning. I did a gravity feed setup like y'all saw, and just let it run, and then it just started pumping gas through the tank again. And so I just put the fuel pump back in, set it back down, and it's been running good since. So all I have left to do is to put these two lines back for those clamps back for the one for the I've been running it about 15 minutes because I wanted to see if it would turn off. I just got to put these two clamps back on for the line that goes to the carburetor, and we're good, I believe. Like I said, I'm going to let it run for a little bit longer while I'm putting the bed on, which I'm just going to back up to it and then just boom, because that thing is heavy. So that's what I'm going to do. What else have we got going on here? That should be it. So once I get this bed back on, I will go for a final drive. I'll wrap this video up. I did tell the customer, I said, this thing is probably going to need a front tire. When I went out and took it on its test drive, it ended up going flat in just a mile of me driving, just of the rotation of the tire. Yeah, I did put some ATF in it to see if I could prolong the inevitable a little bit. We'll see. He's going to be picking it up this evening or tomorrow. So it was only, you know, staying up for a very brief moment. Now it's staying up for almost a day. That's after he put slime in it, before I put transmission fluid in it. So hopefully we'll have a little bit longer. It's just because it's set so long. It's like if you see a tiller that's set for a really, really long time and has the huge dry rot cracks in them. That's kind of what's going on with this. I know this is going to be like a farm vehicle for somebody, so I told him that he should probably just get a new tire before he sells it. Everything else in terms of, like, I got the tank situation fixed, which was the biggest hurdle, which I tried to fix yesterday. My camera was charging, so I wasn't able to really show that much to y'all. But I did get all, I got the carburetor and everything back on. I've done fuel adjustments and all that. So oil is actually clean and good. Transmission's working just fine. I'm presuming that the oil is good in it too. So yeah, I mean, I see plenty of oil down in there, so that's good. Very relieved because it wasn't pumping last night. Now it is today. It must have just been some sort of blockage, or I don't know exactly what it would have been. I think it just may have needed some runtime sealed up. Like I said, I don't know. Really don't. But I do know that it's working now. It's been working for the past half hour, so I feel confident about it. Let me get these clamps on. I'll get the bed back on, which literally the bed just holds on by these two bolt areas right here, and then we should be ready to rock and roll when it comes to getting this thing back to the customer. Very pleased with this. Did not have a lot of hope, but the carburetor was in good shape like y'all saw, and so that made my life a lot easier when it came to that. Well guys, there she is, still running great, running awesome. that's excellent. I mean, it's really happy with how it turned out. I didn't really film a lot yesterday because I was dealing with those fuel pump troubles that we had, and I also had some review videos to film. So y'all didn't really miss much by just me routing the fuel lines and looking at the carburetor. Really, this wasn't too bad. The worst part about it was just access right there, because you only got like a 1/16 of a turn on each bolt before, or each nut for the carburetor. So luckily, like I said, carb was fairly clean. Just did a little quick spritz on it. I've had it running for at least a half hour today, and it's been running just fine. It did knock off once on me, but I got it back going again. But it hasn't, man, it's made me so dirty too. It hasn't really acted up since, so that's good. Add a John Deere Gator to the list of things that I fixed. So we got a boat, scooter, Gator. I guess starting to do most of it all now, which isn't a bad thing, I suppose. But yeah, I mean, like I said, this one's ready to rock and roll. He's going to take care of the front tire. I don't think there's really any saving it, because of whenever you rotate it and it hits that flat spot that was really dry rotted, all it does is kind of puff some air out, and so if you drive it enough, it's just going to puff all the air out. So, and I told him, I said I wouldn't put a tube in it too, because I've done tubes in tires that are this bad, and they've just basically disintegrated. The middle tires are also flat. The back tires have tubes in them, so I'm not so concerned about the middle tires, but I did put some ATF and slime in there for them for that as well. So that's what we got going on, this AMT600 John Deere. I guess it's before they started calling them Gators, or this may be a bigger than a typical Gator. I don't know. But let me know what era it might be. I'm thinking sometime in the late 80s, just kind of seeing what the graphics look like. Maybe late 80s, early 90s. I'm not completely sure. Really cool vehicle. I don't have a purpose for it on my half-acre property, so I'm going to get my cut of the profits in repairs, and he's going to get his cut of the profit in selling it. He's done really well so far with getting some good items for really cheap. So I'm a little bit jealous of him, but it's not my place to try and undercut him or anything of that nature, because like I said, I make money fixing it for him, and I don't have the overhead of it sitting here in the driveway, me trying to sell it, and all that hassle associated with it. When I fix it, it goes back to him, he sells it, it does not come back to me. So that's a good thing. Thank y'all again for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I know it was probably a lot of talking. It was just really hard to film under there, access wise. If you have any questions about this video or any other video you see on the channel, reach out to me, Ellis at ellismowers.com, or at ellismowers09 on Instagram and Facebook. I will catch y'all on the next video. See you then.